Let's start. The populations. In organisms and population chapter, the population plays vital role. Population ecology we use it to say. What is population? Group of individuals who are living in a particular area. Group of individuals who are belongs to same species who are living in a particular area, you can term as population. Okay, so that to be remembered over. Human population, rat population, likewise. A population is a group of individuals which are belongs to the same species. That you should understand first. Okay. A population is a group of individuals of same species that live in a given geographical area, share or compete for similar resources and potentially reproduce. We can define like this. Example, all the cormorants in wetland, rats in an abandoned dwelling, teakwood trees in a forest tract, bacteria in a culture plate, lotus plants in a pond, human in a city. Population ecology is an important area of ecology as it links ecology to the population genetics and evolution. Be careful here. We have more questions from this particular area in the NEET examination. But very simple when you understand. Okay, let's talk about the different items are there. The first the item we'll take that is population attributes. The population attributes include birth rate, death rate, sex ratio, age pyramid, population density. These are the different kinds of population attributes. Let us discuss one after another. First of all, birth rate. How do they influence the population, or do they influence the population? We should ask a question like this for every heading we are putting here. Should ask ourselves, do they influence the population? Yeah, definitely birth rates can influence the population. What is birth rate then? It refers the birth at one particular year, the total number of births in one particular year, per capita births. We use it to say per capita. For example, in a pond, there are 20 lotus plants last year, and through reproduction, 8 new plants are added. So, how do we calculate this as? The current population is 28. So, how do we calculate? Birth rate is equal to 8 by 20. We have to prepare our own notes here. That principles we should prepare here. Principle. What is the principle here? 8. What is 8? Birth rate equal to. Birth rate equal to. What is 8? 8 means newborn. New births by 20. 20 is the previous population. So we should remember this. Means always they don't give this same problem, isn't it? So that's why you should not remember the values. We should remember that particular the concept. So that's why the problem, the principle is very important for us. The birth rate principle. What is the birth rate principle? Number of new births by number of new births by previous population. Current population is 28, isn't it? So previous population before the births. So that we have to remember. Number of births by new births by previous population. Birth rate equal to number of new births by birth rate. So very, very important. That's why I'm taking time. Just see this. Number of new births by previous population. So allow them to stay there itself. 8 by 20. We got 0.4 offsprings lotus per year. What is the birth rate of lotus means? We should say like this. Okay. Next, moving on. The death rates. Death rates. Same again. Per capita deaths. Total number of deaths in one particular year. The example here. The 4 individuals in a laboratory population of 40 fruit flies died during a week. So, the death rate they calculated like that. 4 by 40. Here again, you have to see. After the death, we have 36, isn't it? But they didn't say like this. Death rate equal to number of deaths by total population, not 36 we have to take, total population. or previous population. Not to avoid confusion, I am writing here previous population. That's better to write. Previous population. What is the previous population? 40. Okay, so number of deaths in the previous population. Death rate, we can see. Okay, death rate. Shall we change the color? Black is better for us. Yeah. So that's it. So the death rate here, 0.1 individuals per fruit fly per week. So you should write the calculations we have to make it out. So before we go to the sex ratio, allow them when it comes, we'll discuss. Let me complete here the sex ratio. The male female to sex ratio is also going to be influencing the population. For example, 60% of population is female, 40% of male. Yeah, definitely it influences the population. Or 90% are male, 10% only female. Population will be reduced or increased. Population will be reduced, isn't it? Next, age pyramids. Age pyramids. It is a structure obtained when the age distribution, percent individuals of a given age or age group is plotted for the population. For human population, age pyramids generally show age distribution of male and female in a combined diagram. First of all, you should understand the age groups are calculated like this: pre-reproductive, reproductive, and post-reproductive. Young age, middle age, old age. And populations are of three types: growing population, stable population, declining population. Okay, so first of all, we'll make our own, because this just as small example as they are given there, but we have to go a little detail here. We have three types of population: growing population, stable population, and declining population. We have specific shapes for this. CRT is not provided the shapes. We have specific shapes. So let me write this. Growing population. In case of growing population, the shape will come like pyramid. So they say it has all populations are as a age pyramid. When it is specially asked over, it should say like that. Stable population is bell shape. So why I am explaining this? Because traditionally we use it to say like this. So even not given in NCRT, we use it to get this traditionally. That's why I'm giving. Okay, so stable population, declining, reducing population, declining population, unshaped. The shape here is unshaped. So growing, stable, and declining. And we said now there are three age groups: pre-reproductive, reproductive, and post-reproductive age groups, isn't it? Pre-reproductive age group. What it mean? They are young age people. Pre-reproductive age group. So it was much related to the worldwide now. So that's why we use it to get this question regularly in examination. Reproductive. Okay, next, post-reproductive. They have direct relationship with the country's economy even. So now we are moving. The space occupied them explains their numbers. A, B, C. That means in growing population, pre-reproductive age group is more. Next, in stable population, almost all are equal. In declining population, pre-reproductive age group is less, and reproductive age group is less than the post-reproductive age group, and more occupied by post-reproductive age group. So this is very important to be remembered here. So how does it affect the country's economy? So simple. How does it affect the country's economy? See here, this is one of the best example for this kind of population is Japan. Japan is a growing country. Now you might have read over in the newspaper, Japan people, that some other countries also doing like so. They are giving incentives for giving birth to the children. Why? Because you see, these are old age group people. That means retired people. They are more due to the medical facilities. They are more, and Japan people are much dedicated their lives to the country's economy. But that is 30, 40 years back. At present, their pre-reproductive age group children are very less. So how do it affect? two types. That means working people are less here. That C are not working people, old people. And in future, the children are going to be very less. So that's why that hugely affects on the country's economy in the future days. That was the part. Now we are going to hear that India is growing country, young India, this kind of words, because 60% of our population is here and here. That means engaged people. So that's why that more economic power we may get in future time if we work hard, if we work dedicatively. Okay, so that's what we are talking. So in the way it accounts, that means if pre-reproductive age group is there, we say our future is good. If post-reproductive age is there, so we say that old age people are more and less children are there. So that's why it affects the population. So in that way, we have so many applications. This is enough for us. Okay. So I request you to take the screenshot of this. Shapes are given. Growing pyramid shape, stable, bell shape, declining, urn shape. Now how it is given in the text will go. This is the way. Expanding or growing phase, they said. So based on the colors, you have to understand. Yellow color is given for pre-reproductive age group. And these are ages like 60, 70, 80. Likewise, more pyramids are given. 60, 70, 80. That means all these three include post-reproductive age group. And this is reproductive and this is pre-reproductive. In a general way, they are given. Okay. But why? Because here almost you can't say like every time our fixed frames will be helpful. Different age group people are there. So here you have to understand this as pre-reproductive, reproductive, and post-reproductive age groups are in bell shape, and this particular population is stable population. Declining, you see more post-reproductive age group than after reproductive age group, and less pre-reproductive age group. Young children are less, so we call this shape as urn shape, and this is bell shape, and this is pyramid shape. So in that way, you should understand. Okay. So now moving on, this is the age pyramid concept. From this, we get question: population size or population density. Population size or density. How do we calculate the density? The number of individuals of a species per unit area or a volume. We can say density. How do we calculate? Population density of Siberian cranes at Bharatpur wetlands in any year is less than 10. It is millions for Chlamydomonas in a pond. That too we have examples. Population size is also measured in percent cover or biomass. Okay, before we go that, let's talk about in general way. For example, in 1 acre area, 1 acre area, that 100 tigers are present. If that is called density, for example, only tigers 100 you can't find in 1 acre area. If 1 acre area, the 1,000 tigers are present, what we can say? That is density is more in general way here. Okay, we are talking about tigers. Tigers means very less they present. Okay, population size is also measured in percent cover or biomass. Okay, in an area, 200 Parthenium plants and a single huge banyan tree are seen. In such cases, measuring percent cover or biomass is more meaningful to show importance of banyan tree. Here, this concept explains that if there is a single banyan tree present and more weed plants, Parthenium hysterophorus we know as the best example of weed plant. So 1,000 Parthenium weed plants are present. Okay, what we can say, whose density is more, Parthenium or banyan tree? According to the general knowledge, we say Parthenium is more, but they are saying you should not say like that because this is useful plant. That's why the density of banyan tree is more than Parthenium. This is the meaning. In this case, measuring percent cover or biomass is more meaningful to show the importance of banyan tree. That is the meaning of that line. Next, continuing with the total number is a difficult measure for a huge population. That means calculating the number in a lake, how many fishes are present, Likewise, this is going to be difficult. In such cases, we take relative population density without knowing absolute population density. You can't count like the fishes living in the river or stream or a reservoir. So we take a absolute population instead of absolute population density. We collect relative population density. The number of fish caught per trap indicates its total population density in the lake. In some cases, indirect estimation of the population sizes is performed, like tiger census in national parks and tiger reserves based on the pug marks and fecal pellets. That to be remembered. Pug marks and fecal pellets. Then moving on to the population growth. Population growth is also one of the attribute. The population size changes depending on the factors like food availability, predation, pressure, and weather. Changes in the population density give some idea about the population, whether it is flourishing or declining. So who influences? Natality, mortality, immigration, emigration. Little bit focus here will make us to answer a simple question in NEET examination. Natality, birth rate, number of births in a population during a given period. Mortality, the death rate, number of deaths in a population during given period. Immigration, number of individuals of the same species that have come into the habitat from elsewhere during a given time period. Immigration, number of individuals of the population who left the habitat and gone elsewhere during a given time period. We call the four attributes of population, and we show in the diagram like this. How does they affect the population? Natality increase the population, isn't it? Immigration increase the population. Then who decrease the population? Deaths will decrease, emigration going out will decrease. So that's why see the arrow marks. Arrow marks inside makes increase the population. Arrow marks outside shows decrease the population. If you understand well, we used to get a regular question from here. So that's why very simple topic. Natality and immigration increase the population density. Mortality and emigration decrease the population density. So if n is the population density, n is calculated as population density at time t in one particular period of time, then the density at time t plus 1 equal to, that means next year, nt this year, nt plus 1, 2021, how we calculate? Nt plus at current population plus birth rates, immigration minus death rate and emigration. Okay, so simple calculation. 2020 NT is called 2020 population is 1000, for example, in a given area. Okay, what about next year population? If birth rates are 10 and death rates are 5, immigrations are 10, emigrations are 5. So we calculate like this. NT plus 1, 2021, NT, how much? 1000 plus B plus I. B means birth rate. I, immigration. So how much? 15 minus D plus E. 5 plus 5, 10. So what is the next year population? 1000 plus 15 minus 10, 5. So a little increase of population, 1005. That we have to calculate like this. Very simple task. One time reading will make us to get perfection in this area. Only thing you have to remember, these two aspects increase the population and these two aspects will decrease the population. That's all. Population density increases, B plus I is more than D plus E. Otherwise, it will decrease. That's what we are shown now. Next, under normal condition, births and deaths are important factors influencing the population density. Remember this statement. Under normal condition, births and deaths are important factors influencing the population density. Because immigration and emigration is not a regular process. Immigration and emigration have importance only under special condition. For a colonizing a new habitat, immigration may be more significant to population growth than birth rates. At the time when we are built a new city, at the time immigrations may be more. That is a hypothetical issue in general. Now, exponential growth of an organism. First of all, let us see this in laboratory. Then after we'll understand. Okay. So here the taken is paramecium. So we are talking about that only. So in a culture medium, when I introduce one paramecium, here that was a new atmosphere. That's why it will take some time. That it will take some time. Imagine the culture medium will accommodate food and shelter only for 1,000. Imagine only for 1,000 it can accommodate. That in that culture medium we provided enough good food and shelter. So at the time what happens, let us talk about at the time what happened. Very important, just focus here. Initially it will take some time for adjustment. Initially it will take some time for adjustment. So the time which was taken for time for adjustment is called as lag phase. Once they get adjusted, they exponentially grow. We say logarithmic phase. You see here, from 1,000 they got increased up to 10. Actual capacity of this population is 1,000, but they increased up to some 10,000. Imagine like that. They get increased up to 10,000. What should happen for next? Next, the population will decline. Negative acceleration phase, we say. Till what place they decline? Till they reach to the carrying capacity. So, nearby we get a sigmoid shaped growth curve. Okay, should understand like this. So, let me say once again, this is very, very important concept and application. So the red line shows the lag phase, that is initial adjusting phase we say. Okay. Next, after that, when they get adjusted to the normal, the respective condition, logarithmic phase, positive acceleration phase we use it to say, they increase maximum. And then after, if the more than the requirement, that means more than the capacity they increase, they show the negative acceleration phase and the population will get reduced. Okay. Next, finally, the reaches to the carrying capacity. From there onwards, population will doesn't increase and it does not decrease when it reaches to the carrying capacity. These are the four phases for any ecosystem in the environment. These are the four phases. Okay. Now, let's talk about what is given. Okay. Let's talk about what is given. The textbook, NCRT, they are given like this. Resources, the food and space we call resources, are essential for the unimpeded population growth. If the resources are unlimited, each species show its full innate potential to grow in number. Then the population grows in an exponential or geometrical fashion, which I shown it to you now. This was the particular concept I just shown to you, the blue line. The dn by dt equal to Rn into k minus n by k. This is the equation we learn now. That means logarithmic phase, log phase, and the population reaches to the carrying capacity. So here the meanings for this, that n equal to population size, b birth rate, death rate are called d, and then the increase and decrease in a n during a unit period of time is called dn by dt, equal to b minus d into n. B means birth rate, D means death rate. In general, that is called the R. We show that in the form of R. What is R? That intrinsic rate of natural increase. R means intrinsic rate of natural increase is an important parameter for assessing impacts of any biotic or abiotic factor in the population growth. For example, we say the Norway rat 0.015 R value, then floor beetle 0.12, the human population in India 0.0205. It will come by R equal to remember once again, R equal to B minus D. When we calculate the birth rates and death rates of a year, birth rate minus death rate, we get R value. So if R value 0.015 like Norway rat, floor beetle 0.12, and in 1981 R value is 0.0205. Okay. In simple terms, when saying if R value is there in minus, we say death rates is more than the birth rate. When the same explained in the integral form of the exponential growth equation, that it was shown in the form of nt equal to NOERT. We should not try to understand this particular here. Just we need to understand integral form of the exponential growth. Here, nt equal to population density after time t, NO equal to population density at time 0, R equal to intrinsic rate of natural increase. And this value is very important. The logarithmic base value of E is 2.71828. This is very important to be remembered. Please don't try to understand because this is a formula only. We are not learning how does the formula came. But the logarithmic value we have to remember. In ERTE, logarithmic base value 2.71828 found by that ecological scientist. Now moving on to the right side diagram representation logistic growth. As I said to you now, there is no population in nature having unlimited resources for exponential growth. This leads to competition among individuals for limited resources. Eventually, the fittest individuals survive and reproduce. In nature, a given habitat has enough resources to support a maximum possible number, beyond which no further growth is possible. What do you call it as? Carrying capacity. As we are taken in the earlier bowl, the carrying capacity is 1000. Then what about that particular phases? A population with limited resources show initially log phase. Initially we got lag phase. Then after logarithmic phase are phases of acceleration. If it is more than increase, that will come for deceleration. Then after it reaches to the normal growth curve. So you should understand like this. You should understand like this. Sigmoid shaped growth curve. And finally, an asymptote. What is the meaning of asymptote? Carrying capacity. This type of population growth is called Verhulst parallogistic growth curve. Verhulst parallogistic growth curve. It is described by the following equation: dn by dt equal to Rn into k minus n by k. Very, very important. N equal to population density at time t, R equal to intrinsic rate of natural increase, K equal to carrying capacity. Since resources for growth for most animal populations are finite, the logistic growth model is more realistic one. This is the realistic one. This is that hypothetical one. Whatever you are showing, J shape, growing on like that, that is not at all possible. That can be show the representation of Darwin's said overproduction hypothetical view. Finally, life history variation. Population evolved to maximize their reproductive fitness or Darwinian fitness. High R value we use it to say. Under a particular set of selection pressures, organism evolved towards the most efficient reproductive strategy. Here very, very small sentences but remember these are going to be questions. Some organisms breed only once in their lifetime. Pacific salmon, fish, bamboo. While others breed for many times. Most birds and mammals. Do remember this. Do remember this. Okay. So very, very important. The populations evolved to maximize their reproductive fitness or Darwinian fitness. We call high R value. Under a particular set of selection pressure, organisms evolved towards the most efficient reproductive strategy. Here, these two sentences are very important. That what we said, some breed only once in their lifetime, like Pacific salmon fish and bamboo, while others breed many times, most birds and mammals. Some produce large number of small-sized offsprings, like oysters, pelagic fishes, while others produce small number of large-sized offspring, birds and mammals. Okay, two statements are very important. These facts indicate that life history traits of organisms have evolved due to limited abiotic and biotic components of the habitat. So, organisms interact in various ways to form a biological community. Interaction between the two species is called interspecific interactions, like mutualism, competition, predation, parasitism, commensalism, amensalism. We'll discuss about the population interactions in the next class.